Welcome back. Joining us now with everything happening through our sponsors at the Buffalo Zoo are Christian and Jackie. Thanks so much for coming in today.
Thanks for having us.
Happy to be here.
Of course. Tell us about the diva you brought in today.
So we have Pearl. She's our 11-year-old North American porcupine. We've had her at the zoo since she was about 8 weeks old. I actually had the great pleasure of getting a chance to bottle feed her as she was starting to eat more solid foods and starting that weaning process as a youngster. But today, she's not exactly ready for her Channel 4 debut.
She's a little shy.
Yeah, she is a little shy. So the way that we work with all of our animals at the zoo is we always try to go for positive reinforcement. So we're always going to give them a happy treat, something positive, something exciting, to encourage the animals to do the behaviors that we're looking for. So for Pearl, I am trying my hardest to give her all of her favorite things to make the studio a little less intimidating and a little less scary, but she's choosing to still hang out in her little carrier, which is her safe space, and where she's finding a little bit of comfort just from this, unfamiliar place, new smells.
There's a lot of people
we did have
big lights.
A fun little canine that was in here just a little bit ago, so she's absolutely going to be able to smell all of those different things that are going on as well. So she's just doing her own thing.
Yeah. Let's talk about some fun facts about porcupines.
Sure. Yeah, so porcupines have about 30,000 quills on their bodies. If they start just behind their eyes and go all the way down the backside of their body to their tail, but they don't have any quills on their bellies or the pads of their feet or the very fronts of their faces. It's a big misconception that they can shoot their quills. Their quills are just modified hairs. So just like you can't shoot your hair, Christian can't shoot his hair, porcupines cannot shoot the quills out of their head. Instead, they have backward-facing scales, almost like a hook on a fish hook or a barb, so that once those quills make contact with whatever it is that pushes into it, it winds up getting stuck in there. And they're just very loosely connected to the hair follicles where the quills connect. So they just fall out very easily. When she's going through a shedding phase, just like your pets at home might shed this time of year, she does shed a lot of those hairs and quills, and right now she does have her beautiful summer coat. She grows a really thick winter coat, which kind of prevents you from seeing a lot of those harder quills, but right now you can see them quite clearly if she were to be able to make her way out for us to see. But this is her main line of defense. They're not fast by any means. So if they were threatened by some sort of a predator, even a pet dog at home, her first thing to do would be to turn around and raise the quills on the backside of her body. And if that image of having all of these sharp, spiky things coming at you wasn't scary enough, she would actually start to back into whatever predator that is. Her tail is very chunky and very blocky, so she can kind of swing it slightly like a club, and that's another way for her to be able to potentially wound or scare away a potential predator.
How sharp are the actual?
Very.
Yes.
They're very sharp. They're about as sharp as a needle. So very, very sharp. And like I said, once they stick in, they get stuck. So that's why it looks like it's kind of shooting out of her body. Well, she's showing you her back end right now. So you get a little view of what those quills look like from that perspective.
We're learning a lot today about porcupines, but that's the whole point when it comes to the Buffalo Zoo. Animal education is so important to your mission. Tell us why it's so important and why you try to continue to advocate and spread those messages.
Yeah, so our whole thing is we want to make connections between people and animals, people and nature. Once you find that connection, it helps you to build a little bit more empathy. It helps to give you more of an understanding of what animals and their natural habitats are like. And hopefully it causes people to want to protect them in the future, make some sort of change for the environment, or even just appreciating nature and spending more time outside in the outdoors really great for your mental health, spending time outside. And by learning more about an animal that's unfamiliar like this, a lot of times it helps to break down some of the fear response that people may have to some of those animals. So I know a lot of people are always like, oh, you have a porcupine, oh my goodness, aren't you scared? And I'm like, no, not at all. She's usually the nicest, sweetest porcupine in the world. She does have a sassy personality, I will give her that. But you know, it's just getting a chance to meet animals and learn more about them helps to build that empathy and have a little bit more connection with them.
That's right. And speaking of meeting them, I know that there are tons of events happening throughout the summer. One that's super exciting is Zoomagination. Tell us about that.
So Zoomagination is returning once again. This is an annual event that's been happening. It's our Lantern Festival at the zoo. So they're setting it up as we speak, and it's going to take a month to kind of get them all up there, but it's a giant, huge Asian lanterns that we have throughout the zoo. I think there's like over 45 of them this year. This year, all new, we're going to feature a lot of dinosaurs, so that'll be a lot of fun. I think everybody loves dinosaurs. Right. So yeah, tickets will be on sale soon, and it'll be happening starting July 30th and going till October 6th, and it's on select nights throughout there. So all that information is at buffalozoo.org.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for bringing Pearl in to meet us today. And viewers, if you'd like to learn more about Pearl and all of the other animals, as well as their animal education programs and all of their upcoming events, you can visit our sponsors at thebuffalozoo.org. Thanks again for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.